Okay, so before lockdown started, as we were sailing from Gran Canaria to La Gomera via Tenerife, I had an early morning epiphany that we needed to start doing a bit more preventative maintenance, which we kicked off by bringing the genoa down and maintaining the furling mechanism. And today I'm going to be looking after our winches.
How to maintain your winches? Idiot's Guide.
Yes, the Idiot's Guide to maintaining them done by idiots. So the first thing I'm going to do is polish it. So I've got two cloths. One is for polish, one is for removing the polish. This is the polish. Chrome and stainless steel polish. Get my gloves on. Alrighty then. It rubs the lotion on its skin. It's got like a, I don't know how to describe it really, like a crust on it. And then the satisfying bit is when you give it a good buffing. Thankfully we've only got 4 of these. It's very satisfying this, because you can actually see the crust coming away when you put a bit of elbow grease into it. Ooh-wee. There's nothing that you can do too wrong with polish. Sweaty boy. What is that? That's 2. 3. Alrighty, and that is number 4. I think I need a beer. So now it comes to taking the winch apart. There's a screw in the top here, you can see. That's nicely covered in shite. So hopefully this screwdriver head is going to be big enough to undo it. Oh yeah, that's as loose as it gets. Oh.
Easy.
Easy. And that should all just come out. I'll put that over here. And then this is supposed to come off, but it's looking like I might have to take these 3 screws out as well, so let's do that. We'll just do that with a standard screwdriver.
So we don't have like a manual or anything for this?
No, just what's on YouTube.
So you're just winging it?
Winging it! Okay, that's the 3 bolts. Now then, I'm guessing this comes off. Just check the orientation, yeah. Well, there's bolts after bolts after bolts after bolts on this thing. Well, the centre comes out, I know that much. Some sort of that bit comes out. Okay, this winch is a Harken 46, and it's quite a bit different to the videos that I've been watching online. But I do know that that's supposed to be spring loaded, so
Don't let it fly off the side.
I won't let it go flying. There we go, that's loose.
You saw that spring actually, didn't you?
You did, yeah.
Springs!
Springs! Right, now for the
Boink!
housing. Oh yeah, look at that.
That's quite a big one, isn't it?
It's a beast. That is a sizable weight as well. These are bearings. Washer between them.
They look quite clean.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Don't forget in which order we do these.
No, I won't. Okay, this is different. Now, what happens here? Do you reckon? Obviously, that's the cog, but how to get that out? I'm going to have to take all these bolts out and lift this entire housing off. So,
look at that. They're quite well greased up, actually.
That's it. There's one. Oh, 3. Oh, that's in really tight. That's it. Right. There's a lot of grease in there. Unnecessarily so as well.
Why'd you say that?
Well, because it doesn't need to be grease there. There only needs to be grease on the wheels of the cogs, on the teeth.
Oh, Ray, watch that cog just came completely loose there. Dog is totally not impressed.
Right.
Easy.
Grease all over my hands. Right, that's the central cog, that one. And then this fella. Oh, there's just grease on everything. Oh no, hang on. How on earth do you get that out? I don't understand. Oh, there we go. Alrighty. Like that.
Is that all of what you need to get out, or do you need to get the black thing off as well?
That's all of it.
So you can just wipe all that grease off, clean it up a bit.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Is there a lot of crap in there?
There's loads of crap in there.
You gotta wonder when the last time this was done.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely know it hasn't been done in a year.
No, definitely not in a year.
A year next week since we've owned this boat.
I'm going to use WD-40 just to get the last bits of filth off.
But wouldn't that just make it sticky?
No, it's cleaning fluid, basically. I'll put some kitchen paper around there. Yeah. And I'll just have to catch the rest as it runs off. Oh, WD! A little help would be nice.
I thought you were doing this all by yourself.
Could you just rip me off a bit of kitchen roll, please?
You missed a bit.
Alrighty then.
So do we need to put like a cover on that so more shit doesn't get in it?
No, because it won't be that long. I just need to clean up the other bits. The most important parts in the winch to maintain are the cogs, the teeth on the cogs, these bits, and the pawls. And the pawls are these little springy bits, and that's what stops the winch from moving backwards against the tension. And that goes inside, and it only turns in one direction because the pawls prevent it. They flip out with a little spring, and they prevent it from going in the opposite direction.
That seems to be working pretty good.
You can see that.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and so the two important things to do, get them clean first, and then we apply grease to the cog teeth.
Any specific type of grease?
Well, marine grease. You can buy specific grease for the cogs inside winches, but it's not absolutely necessary. But more importantly, oil on the pawls, not grease. Because the grease can get a bit clagged up, whereas the oil, and I'm just using 3-in-1 light machine oil. So you make sure that there's oil on the pawls, but grease on the teeth.
Very good.
So let's clean everything in reverse order. Start with the thing that goes back in first.
Do all those teeth look pretty good? There's no scrapages?
I'll find out. Certainly on the inside they don't look worn. So I've removed all the grease from the outside. We'll have a better idea. Tedious task of the day number 1. Getting all the teeth. Got the worst of the grease off. So now it's another job for WD-40. Yeah.
You're gonna stink later. Might be the first time in a year you'll have had a shower 2 days in a row. Do you have to get it really sort of dry, make sure all the WD-40 is off it, or does it not matter?
It's not essential. Look at the shit coming off there, man.
Polish it up good and proper.
Trying. Shiny.
Ooh-wee. Now what's the next bit you have to do?
Well, this bit goes underneath it, so let's get this bit clean.
It's just a washer though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So our winches, are they all the same?
No. We've got 2 like this. This is the Harken 46. And they are for the Genoa lines. And then we've got a Harken 40, which is the small one which is used to bring the mainsail back in, and also the topping lift. Bang. And then we have a Harken 9000, which is an electric winch, which is going to be a fun one to do. Right, that's nice and clean. Now you can take the pawls off. These are the pawls.
Little flappy things.
These little flappy things. They've got a tiny little spring inside. On inspection, this just looks lovely and clean, so I'm not going to take the pawls out. I'll just re-oil them, because that just looks lovely. And that's a right fiddly job. If you're going to replace the springs, then you need to take them out. The trick here is not to get the grease on the pawls, which I'm not being hugely successful at.
That's probably why people take them off, isn't it?
Could be. Not this Boy Scout there. Oh, it's hot today.
Roasting.
Now then, we want to put this back in here. So the way you do that is you just twist it on so the pawls contract, and the whole thing will just slot in nicely. Very satisfying, that. Now things to check out for are wear and tear on the ends of the pawls, and also on these teeth on the inside. If they start to get worn, then they need replacing, but they all look really good, so I'm happy with that. So what we're doing is we're putting oil only on the pawls. And then we put this back onto the winch.
Is it still clean in there?
Yeah, it's still clean in there, so we put this one back in reverse order. So that goes on first. And then...
What about the grease?
Wait a second. I'm getting there. And then that goes in there like that. And then that goes on there like that. Twist that on. In it goes. Brilliant. Now we're going to put a little bit of oil around there as well, just to make sure that's nice and lubed. There we go.
Well, now oil's gone into where the grease needs to go. Does that matter?
I'm just going to wipe that off. But that's spinning so nice and freely, it's wonderful. Lummies. Right, so now we deploy the paintbrush.
Are you going to do some art for us today?
I'll do some art for you, yes.
Art with Martin.
Water repellent grease, Marine, Nautica. So that's the bottom cog. Now we just do the top one.
So how many times a year do you have to do this?
Oh, well, they recommend once a year, but that's probably, with new winches like ours, it's probably too much. Once every 2 or 3 years is probably enough. And there we go. Right, so that's one cog. This is where we have to look at the video to see where they go back on. Ah!
I remember.
Do you?
No.
Actually, I do.
Standing up for this one.
It's just too hot to sit down and do it. I have a copper wire brush here for the really stubborn dirt. Definitely do not use a stainless steel wire brush, because if there's any flakes of steel come off, it will rust the cog. Talking like I'm a bloody expert. The first one I've ever done. Look at that! Well, that's just like new. Nice. Yeah, the tips of the pawls look good. There's no wear on this. No rust. Just nice shiny metal. Shiny.
Is that the word of the day or something? Shiny. I'm getting hungry. You're taking too long.
I wasn't expecting it to be this bloody complicated, to be honest. You know. It's not really greased up at all, to be honest.
We did occasionally have a few problems with using that winch though, so maybe that's the reason why. Not enough lube.
Yeah, maybe. So remember, grease on the outside, oil on the inside.
It's the most cleaning you've done in weeks. You don't do the washing up, you don't wash yourself. But you can sure wash a cog. Cog. C-O-G.
It's a lovely piece of engineering, this. Look at that, look how perfectly engineered that is. That's machined to perfection.
You and Lizzie were having a good chew on the other day about the mechanics or engineering of the cogs.
Let's get a bit of an engineering hard on. That goes
Oh,
on there, look.
really? That's nice.
It's lovely, yeah. It sits under there.
Well, wouldn't that move around a load?
No, because there's a centre hole that goes through there, this thing. This thing's all the way through.
Let's go and put it back on.
First of all, I need to get some oil on the pawls. There's a bit of grease in the bottom there. I might put some grease in there just to make sure that's properly lubed. That one goes in there like that. Let's grease that one up. And that fella on top.
Oh, that's a bit of a filthy one.
He's well filthy, this fella. Need to get right inside those teeth.
How rather tedious this is.
Oh, isn't it? Comes up right shiny though.
Lovely jubbly.
Tell you what you want to do in the next one. I think I'm joking. Forget it, sister. That's gonna sit on there like so.
Oh, my tummy's rumbling. Will you hurry up?
Right, that's that. So now I need to give this a clean.
And what do you use to clean that?
Just rag.
So you don't need to use any more like WD-40 or
Nah,
anything?
it's just got a bit of dirt on it and a bit of grease around the bottom. And actually, importantly, because we have plastic bearings, you do not put grease or oil on them. You just make sure that the drum is nice and clean.
It's a bit grubby under there.
Rub for you. Give that a wipe too. Oh!
Easy! Don't get grease on take.
Let me pop that on there. There we are.
So do they need to be screwed on really, really tight then?
Yeah.
We don't want winch falling off.
We don't want the winch falling off. Rightio.
Hey, Mama! It's hard today, huh?
Like I say, it's important. There's no oil, no grease on these. It's not necessary.
But for example, if you had a metal version, you would have to oil and grease them.
It depends actually on what the metal is. If it's aluminium, then no, you're not supposed to do it either.
You know what they look like?
Bangles.
A nice bracelet. That's tight, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it wants to be. There isn't any play in there. There we go.
Ready?
Now's a good time to get the centre pole in.
Do you need to clean that up?
Yeah.
Do you need to grease it or lube it or anything?
I don't think so. There is some grease on there, but not a lot. It's supposed to keep the cogs in the bottom of your winch.
So maybe the grease just came from the cogs?
Yeah, probably did. So that just slots down inside. Like so.
Nice.
Starting to get there. Now we want to get this thing back on, so that just wants a wipe as well.
I'm hungry. Also hungry.
Guessing.
Just turn the winch.
That was it, wasn't it? Yeah. Right, so the last bit of grease to go in is on the inside cog teeth. Get the old grease off.
That's one big cog.
It's a big old cog, that. Okay, all done.
Nearly there.
Nice. And then we put the rope spring-loaded grip on. So that wants to go in the middle of those. So it's springy. And that goes on there.
What's the springiness for?
That's because what you want to do is that's going to be under tension, right? But you could have ropes of different thickness, so when the rope goes in there, it grips any thickness of rope. Nice and tight. And then that goes round to there like that.
Lovely jubbly. Last bit.
Last bit.
Ooh-wee. And there you have it.
That is how you service the Harken 46 winch.
As an idiot. Good job. Right. Lunchtime.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like and subscribe.
Help us make more videos like this by joining our Patreon family.